Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 1 of another brand new series. This is a series which I know some of you guys have wanted to see before, and this is basically a way of pitting vehicles which we may have reviewed in the past on the channel against each other in such a way that we can actually see in practice which one may be better. And for this initial episode we're putting the two monster diesels against each other, the Peugeot 908 and the Audi R10. Now for the sake of this versus battle, we're sticking to the normal models. We're not including the Stealth from Audi, and we're not including the base model from Peugeot, because both of those models do have superior specs. So we're discounting those and just going for the mainstream models. This Peugeot is exactly the same as the other HDI model, it just has a different livery. And we're going to be pitting these cars against each other in basically a top trumps kind of way. So, let's get on with it. So, as I just mentioned, in this series we're going to be pitting typical or well-balanced rivals against each other, vehicles which are natural rivals, sometimes two, perhaps sometimes more. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to lay out the facts of what each car has so that it's not as much down to personal preference, rather down to on-paper figures to see which one is, factually speaking, the superior vehicle. Now that doesn't always mean it's better, it's just a way of comparing the two. Now first up, of course, we have this car, the Audi R10, multiple times Le Mans winner. And in what ways then, of the two, is this the superior car? And for the sake of the series, all of the cars in versus mode will be fully tuned to see what they are like as a comparison at their peak performance. So first of all, this Audi is powered by a 5499cc diesel engine. It can be fully tuned to 1,252 horsepower and 1,526 foot-pounds of torque. The maximum PP level is 727 and it weighs in at 925 kilos. As far as horsepower per tonne, you're looking at a pretty massive 1,354, and it got around one lap of this track, the 2013 Le Mans, in 3 minutes 14.4. So the question is, how does that compare to the Peugeot? Well, we'll get to the Peugeot in just a second to compare the two, but straight off the bat, this car, which costs 1.98 million credits, is superior in 4 particular ways: power, torque, weight, and horsepower per tonne. In all 4 of those occasions, the R10 is superior to the Peugeot 908. So, that's the overview of the Audi, which has very strong acceleration, definitely the quicker of the two in a straight line, and the top speed is also stronger at around 298 to 300 miles per hour, sometimes even just over, under its own power without NOS and obviously without draft. So let's see now how the Peugeot compares. Now the Peugeot, on the other hand, which is of course also a diesel, has a fractionally larger engine. It's also a 5.5 litre, but it's literally 1 cc larger. Now, in real racing situations, of course, having a larger engine is not always superior. Rotary engines prove that very well, as do gas turbines. However, as I mentioned earlier on, this series will be taking the top trumps approach, wherein the bigger number, for the most part, gets the point. Apart from, of course, if you're talking weight and price. So, in terms of engine, the Peugeot is superior by 1 cc, which is about as tiny a margin as you can get. As far as PP, it is also higher. If you fit it with the mid-range turbo, you can get this car to sit at 734 pp. And it's also cheaper by 80 grand at 1.9 million credits. Now, although lap times will not be a factor in the overall point system of this series, because of course different cars will be quicker on different tracks, it is worth noting that of the two cars, both running the same fully tuned form, same tyres, etc., the Peugeot was quicker. Despite the fact that the Audi is quicker in a straight line, the Peugeot's superior handling meant that around one lap of Le Mans, it was surprisingly, to me at least, around 4 seconds quicker than the Audi at 3 minutes, 10 seconds and 703 milliseconds. That's significantly quicker when you're talking LMPs. So, that's overall for the comparison of the pure facts, in which the Audi has the superior power, torque, weight and horsepower per tonne, but the Peugeot has the superior price, capacity and PP, and, although it's not a factor, was also quicker around the track. So let's finally compare the two and see which one wins. Now overall, straight line acceleration, lap times and top speed will not be a factor in deciding which is the superior car from a top trump's point of view, and the reason why I'm not factoring those things in is because it's dependent on the person. You may be able to tune a car to give different performance to the way I can tune a car. However, the things which don't change are the on-paper specs, and that is how we're comparing the car. The price, the engine, the power, the weight, the horsepower per tonne, etc. Those things are not dependent on the player. They are the hard facts. And so, how do those facts compare to give us our winner? Well, overall, it's a very close battle, exactly as you'd want it to be between these two cars. And looking at the specs, you can see what our winner is. The Peugeot has a better price, engine size and PP. The Audi has more power, torque, a lower weight and more horsepower per tonne, meaning that overall, lap times and pure straight line performance notwithstanding, our top trump's winner of the two by 4 points to 3 is the Audi R10. Personally, I consider the Peugeot 908 to be, in practice, the superior of the two, primarily due to its better handling. But for straight line performance, the Audi is definitely the superior of the two. So that's it overall for our first instalment of Rivals, and there will be a lot more rivalries to come in this series, not just race cars. We'll have plenty of road cars, even some concept cars as well, and feel free to suggest rivalries that you would like to see. It's quite possible that they're already planned, but it doesn't hurt to suggest them anyway. So overall, our winner for this week's Rivals is the Audi R10. But that's it overall for this week's Versus match, and I'll see you guys next time. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.